Hi, welcome back to EducateTube.com. My name is Sipsky, your host. In this video, I'll be explaining why I kept my Blu-ray movies with special features. For example, this Blade Runner, or King Kong, or Lord of the Rings, they all have a bonus feature. Like for example, King Kong has over 13 hours of bonus feature that is behind the scene. It talks about pre-production, production, and post-production. I love watching those type of background before I watch a movie or when I watch it a couple of times, because for me, I'm inspired to also make films, and I can learn a lot from these type of directors who does a really good job. For example, King Kong by Peter Jackson did a great job, and I want to know how he did it. I'm very inspired by him, and I hope that all these movies comes out with behind the scenes stuff. So let's talk about it right now. Alright, so that's one thing I like about physical media that has bonus features. I think this is far superior than the online movie version. Like most people will just watch a movie and then they're done, right? For me, it's not just that. For me, when I like a movie, like for example King Kong, I really want to know how it's done. Well, this particular Blu-ray, this is 4K Blu-ray, comes out with a bonus features. A 13 hour, I think over 13 hours of behind the scenes stuff. I love it because when I was watching the movies, I'm like fascinated how it's done. Actually, Peter Jackson, he was really into King Kong. Even before he was directing, he said that King Kong was, in 1930s, was one of the movie that he's inspired to become a movie director, or even actually before that, he wanted to become one of those animated, like stop motion animator. And then he became, you know, a famous director, producer, and all that. But yeah, King Kong was his inspiration. And you get a story behind that. He talks about that. And the coolest part is that he also shows you what he did. Like one thing I liked about the behind the scene, how they prepare for it. It was just a lot of work. I didn't know so much work was put into it, right? Especially like a really big budget movie like this one here. This is, I think initially they planned to spend $150 million, but at the end it was like $207 million. That's a lot of money. But they end up making it back. I think overall they made over $550 million worldwide. So I guess they were able to get some money back from that, and it's worthwhile for them to do it. But it's a huge project. It's amazing. It took them about 2 years to do it, including the planning and all that stuff. But I think prior to that, if you read behind the story behind Peter Jackson's King Kong, he started in 1996 or 1997, and then the company that was supporting him dropped it off. Decided just forget about it. And then when he did the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, they realized he's a very talented person, that they decided, okay, why don't you do King Kong again? So that's what he did. And in 2003 or 2002 to 2005, they came out with this movie, which is amazing. And they show you exactly what was needed to be done. And behind the scene, 13 hours worth, it's worth every penny. So yeah, this is definitely a physical media with all these bonus features. Is worth keeping. The other one I have is, again, Peter Jackson, the Lord of the Rings. Amazing. And I also have The Hobbit as well. I like one thing about Peter Jackson is that he shows you how it's done, and you can be inspired by that. Like for me, one of my passion is to make films, but now looking at what he did and his team did, I realized how much work is needed. So I'm gonna kind of reduce my expectation of myself and maybe make a short films instead of a long feature film, because that's, when you look at the amount of work required and the amount of people needed, it's just incredible. Starting with pre-production, where they do storyboards or 3D animation to show what needs to be done first, and then you have custom design and all that stuff. It's just crazy, right? And then production, the filming, the gears, what's needed, and the location, and the actors that need to be screened and all that. It's just a lot of preparation. And then post-production, you have editing and special effects, all this stuff. And it's like, talked about in this movies behind the scenes, which I love. Like for example, Lord of the Rings here has a bonus feature that talks about that. And same thing here, we have Blade Runner. This is the Final Cut version. This is a 4K, and inside also have a Blu-ray disc that has over 7 hours of how it is done, right? Behind the scene as well. So, you know, when you buy a physical media, that's one thing, it's much better than online, is that they have this behind the scenes stuff, and you can watch the movie, like if you really enjoy the movie, watch it a couple of times, you know, look at different angles, especially if you're like, want to be a filmmaker, right? You want to direct something, or you want to do something in the future, like you're inspired to do. Watch the movie that you like, and then hopefully, you know, they have behind the scenes stuff, like lots of, you know, how it's done, like 7 hours worth of behind the scenes stuff for this Blade Runner. I have other one like Avatar here by James Cameron, right? And yeah, it has 3 discs. I think each of the discs may have, I believe, the disc has a behind the scene as well. Yeah, so it has a behind the scene, yep, disc 2 and disc 3, okay? So that is incredible. I haven't looked at how many hours it's worth. The more hours, the better. I love actually not just watching the movies, I actually love more watching how it is done. And you know, what the director said, and what the actress and actor said about the movie, and the people involved, right? The music composer, the custom design, the prop design, everything that's involved, the sound person, the sound recorder, the editor, the special effects people, all those I mentioned. The more they talk about, of course, the more I love. This is why I love to keep this physical media, because they have all these features in there, and it's organized really, really well, and it's all on 1 or 2 or 3 discs, and you can just look at it, and you can just put it into your Blu-ray player and watch them, which is gonna take hours and hours, right? Another one is Interstellar, right? This one is, yeah, this one has, I think, over 3 hours of behind the scene as well. Not as much as King Kong, okay? So King Kong, if you ever have access to buying one of these discs, it's worth every penny. It's 13 hours worth of behind the scenes stuff. You can learn a lot from them, especially, you know, Peter Jackson. He tells us a lot about how he, you know, do his artistry. I call it artistry, right? How he go about doing it and what he did. One thing, like, I realized that he actually, before he even filmed, he went to visit the Empire State Building and get all his actor and actress to go and see it first, to kind of like feel for it, right? So these things, I didn't even know that they actually do that. They actually allow the actors to go and feel for the scene before they actually film themselves. So these are something that, you know, so much details are input into filming that, you know, you don't realize it, right? It's a lot of work. And even how they set up their blue screen or green screen, and then how they have the sound production and the lighting and all that. It's just amazing when it's done. And then you realize, oh, that's what they did. Okay, oh yeah, that's amazing. I didn't think about that. This is why, yeah, I think if the companies that produce DVD or Blu-ray for the movies, if the movie is good, that is, right? And if they have the behind the scene like 10 hours worth, I would not hesitate to buy $20, $30 Blu-ray discs, because I think it's worth every penny. In YouTube, you know, you have people showing you how to do film, but there's no like famous director or producer showing how it's actually done and what's involved. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a little heart of appreciation. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.